Hello everyone and welcome to the top 8 of the Pokemon TCG World Championships. I'm host Crim's Rojano, and with me is Kyle, Pooka, Sucevich, and man, do we have a Clash of the Titans right here.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. This match is kind of a new school versus old school kind of thing. I mean, on the right you have Josh, J-Wittz, Wittenkeller representing the new school, kind of the YouTube era. Just kind of came onto the scene, making a name for himself. And on the left you have probably one of the oldest players, most consistent players to ever play the game, Tom Dolezal. So this should be a great match.
Yeah, to a lot of the newer players, Tom Dolezal might not be, a household name like J-Wittz, but Tom's been around for a while, and he's easily been the most consistent player in the Pokemon TCG National Championships for the United States anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the guy took second in 2005, followed it up with the top 4 in 2006. He also made top 8 at U.S. Nationals 2008. Did it again this year. He's made top cut at Worlds over and over. I know he has at least one top 8, and here he is again. So just showing he can do it in any format.
Yeah, and that was a handshake right there between J-Wittz and Tom. They're getting ready to start. Now, J-Wittz is playing the Primetime deck, which is Magnezone, Yanmega, and I believe it runs Jirachi as well.
Yep.
And he's playing against Tom Dolezal, playing the Fire deck, the Typhlosion deck, the most popular deck at the World Championships this year. And this is easily considered the matchup, the marquee matchup of the format, where the two biggest decks are going head-to-head, and they have a pretty close matchup. It can be anybody's game.
Yeah, I would say these are the two most popular decks in the format. Tom probably playing the slightly more popular deck, Typhlosion Reshiram. It's pretty straightforward. And then Josh playing one of the newer decks, featuring Kingdra and Jirachi, but still just Yanmega Magnezone. And it looks like we're starting off.
Yeah, that's a cynical start for Tom. And notice that he's got the Cleffa on the bench. A lot of newer players might not understand why he does that, but he's just trying to avoid a Tyrogue knockout. And he knows that he can just retreat the Cyndaquil, have a fire in his discard, which he can use later on. And he doesn't really mind doing that, and he saved himself from losing a Cleffa in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it's something subtle that a lot of players don't realize they should be doing. He starts with the Cyndaquil instead, just so he doesn't give up a free prize to a Tyrogue. Just because he can always retreat that Cyndaquil for 1, and he does want fire in his discard, so we're going to see a beat from Cyndaquil for 10 damage.
Yeah, so he must really like his hand because he's decided not to eke here.
Yeah, he did play a Juniper on the first turn. So I discarded a Quilava, not sure what else he discarded, but his hand must be strong enough to where he doesn't have to eke, and he's just going to hope Josh doesn't judge, which he didn't, so we might see a pretty fast start from Tom.
Yeah, and now Josh understands this, and obviously he goes for the Collector, and he's finding a Cleffa and a Magnemite right now. He's probably going to get a second Magnemite. And at that point, they both have the ideal setup for them, at least for the first turn. They both have the basics that they needed on the bench, and we're going to hopefully see a pretty good game.
And let's talk about the matchup a little bit. Normally, Typhlosion is going to fall behind early on. Yanmega Magnezone, in general, is a quicker deck, just thanks to Yanmega, and it really needs to get a prize lead in order to win against Typhlosion. If they can get fully set up and get maybe like a turn 2 Blue Flare, that's going to be terrible. Yanmega Magnezone really needs to take the prize lead, because it's just going to get so tough for him to keep knocking out Reshirams. But it looks like Josh didn't decide to eke, so maybe his hand's alright.
Yeah, so both players win a good eke. And, to kind of, further your point, at this point, really, the Yanmega, it's got 110 HP. The Reshiram has 120 damage attack, Blue Flare. The Reshiram one-shots the Yanmega, so that kind of puts the Magnezone deck in a situation where it usually isn't in, where its main attacker is kind of neutralized. So at that point, the Magnezone deck has to focus more on the Magnezones. That's why they added Jirachi to the deck and the Kingdra thing, just so that they can actually stand a chance against these big fire decks that just have too much HP and just deal too much damage.
Yep, that's right. Now, maybe Tom's hand wasn't as strong as we thought. He's going to retreat to this Cleffa, and then he'll play Communication. Probably go for Ninetales, but if he has a rare candy, he can go for Typhlosion. We'll have to see what he does.
Yeah, if he does go for the Ninetales, I'm going to be kind of confused here, because in that case I would have just kept the Cyndaquil active and maybe hoped for a turn 2 Typhlosion.
Yeah, I can see that, just because an early knockout on the Yanma would be pretty devastating. Not sure what's going through Tom's head. But, you know, even though he's been in all these tournaments, you can't underestimate the fact that this is the top 8 of Worlds, man. Like, if you win, it's a lot of prize money. You win a trip to next year's Worlds, so you're going to be nervous no matter who you are.
Oh yeah, even the tank isn't safe here. So then we're seeing a collector here from Tom. So now he's just saying, all right, I have my Ninetales. I'm gonna start setting up. Let me just get a couple more Cyndaquils and hopefully get a couple of Typhlosions on the following turn.
Yeah, the thing about Typhlosion is it needs to get multiple Typhlosions into play. If it can't get 2 out, it's tough for it to keep getting out a constant stream of Reshrams. So Tom recognizes this, and he's gonna grab some more Cyndaquils.
Now at this point, he mixed his hand with his deck. I think he just got a little bit carried away. The judge realized this, and the judge, asked him to show the Cyndaquil that he got and everything else. And so I think they're just going to make him go through the motions right now.
Yeah,
The nerves really are getting to him. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, he is a little nervous. You can see it. It's also still pretty early in the morning, so there's a lot of adrenaline going through your body because there's so much on the line. And sometimes it's hard to just remember to take your time and do everything the correct way. And, Tom just got a little overeager.
Yeah. So here, hopefully, we'll just see an Eek, and no, we don't see an Eek.
As you can see, he actually put the collector back on top of his deck, so he's a little out of it right now, but hopefully he settles down.
All right, so he decided not to Eek. He is comfortable with his hand. He did like the roast reveal that he made last turn, obviously. So now at this point, we're going to be seeing hopefully a couple of Typhlosions out of him on the following turn. Mm-hmm. And now it's Josh's turn. Hopefully he can get a turn 2 Magnezone to really put some pressure on and really get his setup going. And if not, then we'll have to see. Because going second really does put him a little bit behind.
Right, now he does have a Magneton and a Yanmega. I was going to say he really needs to get a Yanmega going this turn to really have a chance. His best odds is going to be to hit a reversal on a Cyndaquil maybe. Or in this case, we'll see what he does. Looks like
I believe he's... Yeah, so 40 damage on one of the Cyndaquils.
Yep, so Josh also recognizes that Typhlosion is the life of Tom's deck. So if he can take those out, make sure he doesn't get 2 into play, then the game's going to end basically. Because you can't keep fueling Reshrams without 2 Typhlosions. So Josh targets down a Cyndaquil.
Yep, that's entirely correct. So we see a roast reveal out of Tom, and that's a rare candy and a first Typhlosion coming down. That Typhlosion comes down on the damage Cyndaquil, so in order to avoid these early knockouts and put himself behind and behind on the Cyndaquil count as well. Yeah. So now we see a couple of fires on the Reshiram, and that's exactly what we were just talking about. That 110 HP really comes back to bite you in the butt whenever you fight against the big Firebird.
Yeah, you can see how excited Tom is to get all this into play. He just kind of threw all the fire on the Reshiram and retreated, and he's ready to knock that thing out.
I would be too, man. All right, so now we're going to be seeing a Magnezone come down. That's great. So Josh does have a Magnezone to play with, only 1 energy, I believe. Mm-hmm. So he's going to have a couple energies, ideally, after this turn. Will he want to go for the knockout in the Reshiram? Or actually, I don't believe it even has enough damage.
No.
So that's not even an option. Hopefully he can get a reversal, and he tried it, but he missed.
Yeah, that's going to be Josh's way to get back in this. If he can reversal out that Typhlosion that's got no energy on it, that'll be perfect. Typhlosion does have a 2 retreat cost, so unless Tom has a switch or something, he wouldn't be able to really return a knockout in this situation. So Josh has to try to take advantage of Typhlosion's 2 retreat cost and hit a reversal. Otherwise, he's going to be in some trouble.
That's correct, and he goes for another reversal here. And that's, I believe, heads.
Yep, looks like it.
So he gets the heads on the Typhlosion that we just mentioned, and here we go. That does kind of set Tom back about a turn, unless, let's see, if he does get a second Typhlosion out into play, no, I guess he still can't do anything but outrage this turn.
Yep, that's kind of a danger of getting Typhlosion out so early. Even though you can get aggressive with an early blue flare, you're also vulnerable to this. And we actually see Josh Lost Burn and get rid of his only 2 energy in play just to knock out this Typhlosion.
Yeah, that's still a solid play. Mm-hmm. He apparently wasn't going to be able to use a Yanmega or even bring a Yanmega down in the first place. But if he could have, that Sonic Boom would have been a much better play, obviously.
Right now, Josh is in a lot of trouble, I would say. looks like Tom's going to get another Typhlosion. I did see a plus power in his hand earlier, and unfortunately Josh played a rainbow on his Magnezone, so he's only got 130 hit points left. So we're going to see Tom knock out Josh's only Magnezone in play, and he's going to be left with just a Cleffa, a Yanma, and a Magnemite, and he's going to be down a prize. Not a spot you want to be in versus Typhlosion.
Yeah, he's definitely behind here. Now, again, that does have something to do with the fact that he had to activate his Magnezone, and he had to take that knockout, removing his only two only two energies from the game. But that was just the spot he was in. He went second, and going second does put you behind, and if your opponent does get a fast Typhlosion like he did here, then you're going to have to make some sacrifices, and he had to hope that his opponent couldn't get that return knockout.
Yeah, I mean, Tom went first. He got the first prize. Both of these things are really tough. If you're facing Typhlosion with Yanmega Magnezone and Magnezone goes down, I wouldn't be surprised to see Josh actually scoop this game pretty soon.
Yeah, me neither. I can definitely see a Rare Candy Magnezone come down right now, which he's playing a Junkrum, so that's definitely a potential. Or actually, he didn't play the Rare Candy last time. He played it through a Magneton.
Mm-hmm.
So, no. But yeah, I can definitely see something like that going down and potentially stalling with a Cleffa. We have to keep in mind that there is still only Pokemon Reversal, and there is no Pokemon Catcher yet, so you can definitely stall behind a Cleffa if, in worst-case scenarios.
Yeah, now, Josh's slight chance in this game will be to reversal out the new Typhlosion, because, again, it does have a 2 retreat cost. Even then, I mean, Josh only has, no energy in play. Oh, here's a reversal.
That's Tails.
Okay, so, like I was saying, there's no energy in play for Josh, so even if he were to get a Magnezone out, he's not going to be able to deal with these Reshrams right away. He can take a prize on Cleffa with a linear attack from Yanmega, but that's only a short-term fix. Eventually he's just going to get run over.
Yeah. So now he did go through for the communication, and he fetched a Magnemite, not a Magneton, not a Yanmega. Just try to get another Magnemite. He's conceded the fact that he's going to have to eat this turn, and he does just that. And we have to keep in mind that he did not play an energy this turn, so he didn't have one in his hand. And that's really bad for him because that's pretty much his only hope is just being able to gather energies and start knocking things out.
Right, I mean, no energy in play, no evolutions in play, you're staring down a Typhlosion and a Reshiram already. You're down a prize. Josh can't be feeling too good about his spot here, but he's going to play it out for a few more turns at least, and there's a second Typhlosion, so he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
That's a reversal on Tails, so it doesn't really matter what it was on.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, looks like we do have a Junk Arm though, so he's going to go for it again.
This time he hits it, and I would go for the Yanmega here. For the Yanma, I mean.
Mm-hmm. And there we go. And Josh scoops
the
first game.
Oh, and he offers a handshake. Maybe that was nerves. Most people don't offer handshakes after the end of Game 1 in a 3-game series. But it's all right. Now we're going to be going to Game 2, and hopefully we can have a better game here.
Yeah, I mean, nothing you could do there if you're Josh. That was a rough start, but hey, that's why it's 2 out of 3. You get your first bad game out of the way. Now let's play some good ones.
Hey, man, look at J-Wittz shuffle, by the way. That's pretty good. That dude is fast.
Yeah, you can see the... All right.
All right, guys. We'll be back for Game 2 out of 3.
All right, we'll see you for Game 2.